What's going on, guys? It is the Wolf, the madman himself, the Man in Black, International Man of Mysteries, and all the other good things that I've been called. As far as the bad things, well, uh, those people don't have good taste in the first place. So, with that being said, let's jump into the video. This particular video is going to be about code 26 U.S.C. 861, income from sources within the United States. Let's take a look. A lot of people out there don't understand, and they really should overstand the words that are out there. But a lot of you guys have never had to deal and do things on the legal level. A lot of you guys just kind of do the whole smash and grab in life. Come on, yeah. But you have to understand the subtleties of certain words because there's two different languages here. In the English language, we have the American language, and then we've got the maritime, commercial, conspicuous format, UCC, admiralty, abridging the Constitution jurisdictions. We have Webster's, they have black laws. These are the things. All right. So let's take a look at this. We're going to put this under fair use. I didn't see any names of anybody who owns it. So fair use, fair use, fair use. Um, that being said, let's jump into the document. All right. Once again, I don't see any ownership on here. And nonetheless, the code is the code. So other than the notes that somebody might have made themselves, potentially, the code is still going to read the same. So let's listen to what it has to say about income from sources within. Now, let's just start off. Let's back up. First of all, there's a definition for income. Okay. Generally, this means sources of compensation for a for-profit entity within the United States corporation, generally non-living. And it also means something that can be taxed and that is taxable. When you make your money is not taxable until you call it a income, which is why you fill out income tax forms. You're saying what it is. Now, per their site, they would argue, well, compensation means the same things. No, it doesn't. Compensation is for private persons. Income is official, and this is for-profit things, but you can make an election for your compensation to be regarded as income from sources within the United States. Well, hold on. Within. So you're talking about you're in something, not without. Okay, I already made a video that talks about the difference between within the United States and without the United States under sworn declaration. So here they're talking about within the corporate United States. Talk about the corporation. This can be found under UCC 9-307, letter H, location of the debtor. The United States is located in the District of Columbia. Well, how can the entire United States be in the district? Because it's a corporation and it's registered in the District of Columbia. So it's a corporation inside of a territory. We do not own the District of Columbia. That is the statutory United States. It is the corporation. It is a business entity. We do not own it. We own the United States of America, but the United States itself and the District of Columbia are in the American family. If I make you right now an honorary Lovett of my family, you don't have Lovett blood. But if we start scrapping with another family at the reunion, which often happens, which is why I wouldn't make you an honorary Lovett unless you can fight or you got them things, because the Lovetts are wild, let me tell you. But we would be like family, moving like family, but you still are actually from a different family. You're something different, but you're underneath our umbrella. This is the United States corporation. The District of Columbia is not one of the 50 stars on the flag of the United States of America, the unfringed. It is not. Their fringed gold flag, the gold flag represents their district being surrounded on three sides by gold. That's why the flag is has gold fringes on three sides, because we, the American people, are the gold, and they are infringing on us. We don't know it because we don't understand this information. So the District of Columbia and the U.S. Corp are family, but it is for citizens of their own regard, self-declaration. Per the law, you can be a national, which is what you were born, or you can be regarded as a U.S. citizen. It is your choice. You have both. Okay, so now let's let the lovely AI, Hail Hydra, read it.
The statutory term United States is defined at IRC 7408D to mean only the District of Columbia and its U.S. territories.
Did you hear that? In the Internal Revenue Code under 7408D, the United States, which is the only place where they are supposed to tax you, is in the District of Columbia. So, okay, Wolf, or wait, and its territories. So, if you're not in the District of Columbia, oh, but wait, what are its U.S. territories? Its U.S. territories are all the places that carry the U.S. zip code, or that are voluntarily or through treaty or whatever else. So what happens is Florida state itself is not taxable. It's the geographical ground. But the state of Florida carries the zip code. Those are territories. So it has an invisible overlay over the ground. If you plug into their territories, the zip code, you're in the United States. You can be in Australia. Call yourself a U.S. citizen. And if there's a U.S. Facility there, or you give them your documents to work there, and you say that you're a U.S. citizen and you are you're saying you're a taxable U.S. business of the U.S. corporation, so spider webbing all the way back through these things, then you're taxable. If you don't do it the right way, that's tax evasion. If you do it the right way, per the code, I broke that code on YouTube a little while ago, once again, then it's tax avoidance. And per the IRS, not me, you are tax exempt if you do it right. Tax avoidance. Their stuff, not mine. Which I never understand why, when I'm reading their codes and literally telling you what it says, people go, oh, no, it can't be. Okay, well, don't listen to me. I'm just showing you the path. I've already done all these things. They know who I am. All these agencies, they know. They have attempted to, some of them have attempted to recruit me, because I understand what their legal departments do. They wanted me to rewrite these things to make it even harder for you guys to understand these things, because they have somebody who does it, but they like people who are smarter. It's the problem when you have an IQ in the 161 range. You're too damn smart. Because if you're too smart, you can do all these things and almost do whatever you want to do. As long as you're not hurting anybody, depriving anybody, endangering public safety, you can do it. But they call the public, which is the U.S. citizen, stupid. And because I'm not calling you stupid, but people, U.S. citizens in general, then they must tell you what to do. But when they tell you what to do, they're supposed to tell you all of your options, but they tell you the baseline option, which is to do what everybody else does, which is just to pay it, because it makes them money. And if you figure out, if enough people around the world figure this little shebang bang out, then they're not going to use it. And then down goes their system. And then we're back on tariffs, which makes the other countries mad. So all these people are double and triple dipping on you. Let's keep going.
Territories. D. Citizens and residents outside the United States. If any citizen or resident of the United States does not reside in, and does not have his principal place of business in, any United States judicial district, such citizen or resident shall be treated for purposes of this section as residing in the District of Columbia.
So once again, this is back talk. They're telling you right here that basically you shall be treated for the purposes of this section as residing in the District of Columbia. So you're taxable unless you tell them and show them how you are outside of their United States, which is where the whole state citizen, like Floridian, New York, or Californian, per the GPO style manual, comes into play. You're telling them that I am a national. And once again, they use the word reside because it stands for reside and enter, or you're residing. You're leaving the private as a state citizen, a Californian, and you're being regarded residing. If you reside your house, you're putting on new siding. You already have siding, so it's sided. So if you want to say it, you could be a sident, and your side is the Constitution as a national and a Californian. But they want you to be a resident. And a citizen, citi is to conform, and zen is to be made docile, peaceful, non-savage. So everything that they do is going to talk about from inside of their sandbox. I call the District of Columbia, which is the beast, the sandbox. They have nearly unlimited power, but held in check by the Constitution, supreme law of the land. But inside their sandbox, they are the Wizard of Oz, which is also the Wizard of Oz was also made based on this information. Everything is based on the sandbox. They have unlimited, almost unlimited power inside the sandbox. So what did they do? They abridged their borders and created territories outside of the area. But these are overlays. All right, so let's keep going.
Columbia. A. 3. Personal service.
So A says gross income, okay, from sources within the United States. Once again, they added the word gross on there. I mean, it's kind of gross that they want your money. But some of it does go for certain things. But I'll tell you this, majority of your money doesn't go where you think it's supposed to go. It's one of the reasons why they're doing the shakedown in the government right now and looking at all the waste of our money that we should be getting back. And they're trying to give us, potentially giving us back in check form. Personal services. Okay. So it says compensation for labor or personal services performed. Here's the key word in. So compensation and labor are tax exempt. Personal services, tax exempt. But here's the modifier, the word in. Because now you're in the United States, the corporation. I would be saying my compensation for labor and my personal services are performed without the United States or in the United States of America or in the private. It says, except that compensation for labor or services performed in the United States shall not be deemed to be income from sources within the United States. If, start here, let's see if we can close that. Read aloud, good lady.
A. The labor or services are performed by a non-resident alien individual.
Non-resident alien individual. That's us as nationals. The IRS already, per the video I made, I don't remember the code, but said that U.S. nationals are to be regarded as non-resident aliens for tax purposes. So this is how they fool you. Anybody reading non-resident alien, like, oh, that's all, it's not me. And then it says, individual temporarily present in the United States. This sounds weird because you are not always domiciled in the United States corporation. You are doing temporary business in it. You are temporarily present. Present means living. Otherwise, it would say represent, represent. So you're temporarily you doing business somewhat in their area in the United States for a period or periods not to exceed a total of 90 days during a taxable year. Okay. Well, guess what? You're not in the United States more than a fraction of a second when you're doing certain things. The moment you sign it, bam, you're in. The moment you're done, you're out. You're not in the U.S. corporation. But if you believe this, okay, or you're in DC, or in this case, a police officer can't say that because he has to be regarded as a U.S. citizen. So he is in their jurisdiction for 90 days. But we as private people, we are non-resident aliens for tax purposes, nationals, U.S. citizens, private citizens, state citizens. Or it says B, such compensation does not exceed $3,000 in aggregate. And the compensation is for labor or services performed by an employee or under contract. Well, employee is their terminology. You've been employed, like the military, deployed, employed, or under contract with a non-resident alien, foreign partnership, foreign corporation, not engaged in a trade or business within the United States. So even though I don't like the word employee, and they will throw in their words and then they'll give you a little bit of a way out. So here it says not. So here's the modifier, not engaged in a trade or business within the United States. This is what 99% of all of us are doing at our normal jobs, but not for a postal worker, not for a police officer, not for a judge, not for a lawyer, or whatever else. Those are public people. If you are subject to the public in your job, then this is not going to apply for you. Now, we know how to use other legal methods, get these things done for police officers with success. We've done it. So to those officers, you are welcome. But let's keep going. A non-resident alien is defined statutorily. This means in the corporation, statutes. Statutes are corporate because we already have the Constitution. So this doesn't say constitutional law, but see, they have to provide remedy. The law states that every organization, every corporation under the United States must provide some form of remedy, your way out of the abyss, the realm of hate. This is Sparta. Kicks the agent into the pit. No, don't kick any agents, and we're not condoning any violence. Non-violence, good people. A non-resident alien is defined statutorily under the Internal Revenue Code 7701B1B. An individual is so you see that? An individual, meaning a living person. So if you're a living person, per their own code, is a non-resident alien. If such individual, living person, is neither a citizen of the United States nor a resident of the United States. So here's where it can get confusing. It says here what it is not rather than what it is. But here's my interpretation of it. Do your own, talk to your own people. I'm not saying to do anything here. This is my interpretation. And the law, per the Supreme Court, says if you can stand on your interpretation of the law, it is fact. Now, you may have to argue it out in court, but it is what it is. So first of all, we already know what a resident is. Here's how you can prove this one. If when you got your driver's license or your bank account, they ask you to prove residency, resident C, the C, you're a resident of the C. They ask you to go home and get your name in all capitalized letters. And the zip code on there had to be something official. You show them that you are a resident. Well, that's a legal fiction. It's a legal person. It's a legal entity. Now, the tougher one is citizen of the United States, because legally being said, a citizen of the United States is different than, as mentioned up here, a U.S. citizen. But citizen of the United States encompasses all of the citizenship statuses. But that's a citizenship status. We as living people are nationals. We're not citizens, but we can be considered to be under the citizen of the United States title. However, they already told you that this is an individual and is a non-resident alien. All right. Now, the IRS, per the IRS code, says that a U.S. national is to be regarded as a non-resident alien. This is their stuff. So, non-resident alien equals U.S. national. U.S. national means individual, the living person. Somebody not born in the District of Columbia, or a military clone, or something of that nature. All right, so let's go on and see what else it says.
Individual temporarily present in the United B. C. I. A non-resident alien. 26 CFR 1.871-1 Non-resident alien individuals are taxable only on certain income from sources within and without the United States.
Whoa! So when you're saying you're a non-resident alien, and we now know that that's the same as a private or living individual, same thing as a U.S. national, you're only taxable on certain incomes and sources within the United States.
States which is effectively connected for the taxable year with the conduct of a trade or business in the United States. 26 CFR 1.871-1 B. 4. Expatriation to avoid tax. For special rules applicable in determining the tax of a non-resident alien individual who has lost U.S. citizenship with a principal purpose of avoiding certain taxes. Note: A. In the IRC 7701, B. 1b, you see that a non-resident alien individual cannot be either a U.S. citizen nor a resident alien. B. In 26 CFR 1.871-1 B. 4. Expatriation to avoid tax, you see that a non-resident alien individual can lose their U.S. citizenship and lose it by expatriation. C. There is only one group of individuals that can have a U.S. citizenship and lose it by expatriation. Those are Americans born in the constitutional republic or naturalized there. In a separate jurisdiction, the District of Columbia, you find the following. The statutory term United States means the District of Columbia. Now substitute that understanding for the statutes. A statutory U.S. citizen is defined at 8 U.S.C. Section 1401, A, a person born in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof. A statutory U.S. citizen is defined in the American Journal of Jurisprudence at 3 Cam. Jur. 2d. Section 2689, who is born in United States and subject to United States jurisdiction. A person is born subject to the jurisdiction of the United States for purposes of acquiring citizenship at birth, if his or her birth occurs in territory over which the United States is sovereign.
All right. So there's a lot of stuff in there, but let's finish it up and then let's prove the all right. Or let's keep it rolling.
Those born in the constitutional republic are not subject to the jurisdiction of the national government as they are not born in territory belonging to the statutory United States, the national government. The constitutional republic is a separate and distinct jurisdiction from that of the territory belonging to the statutory United States, the District of Columbia. The District of Columbia is not a state of the Union. Private sector employers cannot be presumed as federal. A statutory trade or business is defined at IRC 7701, A, 26, includes, consists of to the exclusion of all other terms, the performance of the functions of a public office. All public offices are those created by the U.S. Congress for IRC purposes.
All right. All right, all right, all right. So as you see here, you can operate as either one. Now, a lot of people go, well, Wolf, I mean, those are the same thing. U.S. citizen, national, they are the same within, they are two different things that you have. They are two separate things that you have. Citizenship and nationality are two separate things. Even with your nationality, you can elect for it to be taxed. Why you would, I don't know, but you can. But they are, in fact, two separate things. They can easily tax the U.S. citizen, but not the national. But as a national, if you're operating completely private, you can make an election. They'll tell you, well, then just check off here that you're a U.S. citizen. So as a national, you are having them regard you and your compensation to be regarded as income, and you regard yourself as a U.S. citizen. So then all the money that you make is then taxable. That's how it works. You didn't have to do it, but you also didn't ask. You also didn't look for alternative options because you were told everybody just pays them. But yet, if I were to ask you right now, do churches pay? You'd say no. If I were to tell you or ask you, rather, do wealthy people who never have to pay taxes or big companies that don't have to pay them? No, because they know the IRS law or code. It's under a law, but it's code. So once you learn what's going on as education and entertainment purposes only, once you learn to speak their language of commerce, then you're doing, and you do it correctly and properly, it is tax avoidance. So sanctioned by IRS code or the IRC, which is what it's called. So you have the IRS, and then they have what's known as the IRC, which is their code. It doesn't say Internal Revenue Law, it says Internal Revenue Code, so it's a code. Codes are for corporations. That's why police are actually police policy enforcers. They're enforcing the policies of the state of whatever you're in. And they're actually considered private, which is why for U.S. citizens, which is why generally you can't do a FOIA request on them. But you can subpoena the information if you take them to court. Huzzah! All right, guys, that's about it. Thanks for learning this jazzy McJazz stuff here. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you guys later. Don't forget to hit that bell, like, subscribe, thumbs up, all the good jazz. Talk to you guys later. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Stay safe out there. As always, vet your information, even if it's mine. Double check, double check, double check. Do your own thing. We are not responsible for it. And I will catch you back in 2 and 2.